Let's do this. Welcome to Mindful Minutes with Musicians, the show where we aspire to inspire musicians and artists talking about mindfulness and what brings us through our practice to achieve greater goals. Hey everyone, huge thank you for everyone tuning in today to watch this episode of Mindful Minutes with Musicians. And to make sure not to miss an episode, please subscribe, click on the bell, and leave all your comments below. Today's guest is David Bell, a bassist, producer, singer-songwriter from Swansea, Wales, now living in Austria with a handful of solo albums. He's also toured with Dolly Parton, a studio bassist for the BBC and Welsh television, was a bass lecturer at Neath College of Performing Arts in Wales. He's played in studios and live with tons of Austrian, German, and Switzerland artists, as well as Pete Brown, who is Cream's lyricist, Donnie Lunny, who played for Sinead O'Connor, and Mark Knopfler. Clyde Stubblefield, who's played with the godfather of funk himself, James Brown, Terry Williams from the Dire Straits, Mickey Gibbons of Badfinger, Mickey McGee with Tom Jones and Shakin' Stevens, as well as Richard Cottle, who's played with Stevie Wonder, just to name a few. And now he's here with us today to talk about his own practice and mindfulness. So huge welcome to David Bell. Hey, welcome.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
So we'll start off. How are you? How have you been?
Well, I'm good. That was some introduction you gave me. Most of that stuff's quite a while ago, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fit and I'm healthy.
Nice.
And I work hard to stay that way. Yeah.
That's it. I actually just came back from a jog myself, so yeah.
Wow. Great.
I think exercise is there's so many different levels that
Yeah.
just really help internally and externally, right? So it's yeah.
Oh, it's a major part of my life for sure. Has been for a long, long time now. Sport,
Nice.
yeah, so different things.
What kind of exercises do you do?
Well, like cycling and running, and I started a long time ago, 40 years ago. I started martial arts and Tai Chi form, and I'm a bit out of practice, but I love it all anyway. So.
Oh yeah, no, I think stuff like that is. I was doing karate for a bit, and I stuff like that is just.
It's great.
It's good for your body, but your mind, and it's good for so many different levels, and yeah. I was gonna say that this past like year and a bit with everything going on, it's been really difficult for a lot of people, and I think as like creatives and artists, have you found that like these times have like led to more creativity for you, or have you found like it's kind of like been more difficult to be creative during these times?
You mean like since the pandemic started? Or yeah, well, not really, because I think I've always been creative, really. I've always had these things coming through me.
Kind of buzzing, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of I got off the world bus just a couple of years ago. I stopped the bus and got off, I think. Now I live a very simple life, and it hasn't really made any difference to me. So yeah.
That's good. It's definitely been a huge twist for everyone. I feel and I
for
think
sure.
I think that even myself, I find that there's days where I want to write something, and I'm like like all I can think about is the current situation and what's going on, and do I want to write about that, or do I what I mean? And so it's difficult as far as those kind of levels go, but
the world has changed.
God. How would you say your practice has evolved and changed over the years? I guess in comparison to the past few years and like to that prior to that, like, do you think these like has things slowed down for you as far as like creativity or your practice, or you know, do you find that like it's kind of you're able to kind of move through these things?
I don't think something really changed much at all, you know, except that some years ago, I just kept, I've always done gigs, you know, played all my life live. And it just kind of eased off. And but other than that, you know, nothing's really changed. Everything's the same. I practice my bass, play it every day, you know. I want to be a
Yeah.
jazz musician, you know.
Yeah. Right.
I do my
um
best. Yeah.
I guess you haven't as far as like gigs and playing live, I guess that's all changed for you as well then.
Well, in the last year and a half, it's changed for a lot of my friends. I know this, although they're starting to happen again now. You know, gigs are starting to
Mm-hmm.
take place.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't done any major gigs for quite a few years now. It's just some small things,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But anything major, I haven't done for quite a while now. And
Yeah.
you know, I just live a simple life, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Have you been doing more studio stuff and just like
I'm always ideas always come, and as soon as they come, I try and record them.
mm-hmm.
And I'm always doing something with music, you know, always.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had actually another interviewer speak about something similar to this, about when an idea comes, and
Mm,
they'd read some book that kind of illustrated this, but it was when an idea comes, you need to like create or harness that idea right away so that it doesn't
yeah.
leave you, kind of thing. So I think that just that ability to kind of like, when you get an idea, just to like hop on it and just, you know, go for it. I think that's a cool a way to kind of get that out, you know what I mean? It's like, and also
Yeah.
like a emote and um yeah. So
Yeah. I'm constantly, a line will come, or a melody or something, or maybe I'm playing, sitting with the acoustic and something will come. And I've got thousands and thousands of pieces of paper, you know, with lines,
yeah.
and I usually know when it's going to be, you know, okay. And
Yeah.
then otherwise, I just let them lay there, and they're all somewhere, you know,
Do you
going
find
to come.
that like vault, I guess, of ideas, do you ever go like, do you go back to those ideas and resurface them, or do you kind of like just work on new ideas and go from there?
Occasionally, I go back to, you know, maybe I'd see this bundle of papers that I'd forgotten about, you know, and I'll look through them. I think, oh, well, I can use
Oh,
this line for that, you
yeah.
know, or that line or whatever. But most of the time, you know, I just kind of, it's always new things coming, and I
Yeah.
really I like working on new stuff because,
Keeps it fresh,
yeah,
I guess, as well.
it does, yeah, and it's more interesting because, you know, I've
Yeah.
heard some of those songs thousands of times, you know, and
Hmm.
but I still
Yeah.
like them, so you know, somewhat.
Yeah. And I guess also it's nice to play off of these ideas, but like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need to go back to an idea because it'll kind
Yeah,
of resurface on its own, kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
that's true. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah. What would you say the biggest things that you've been able to take away from playing music with all like the amazing people that you've played with over the years?
Well,
Like yeah.
I have played with some great musicians. I've got to be honest. I've been very fortunate and lucky in my life to play with some amazingly wonderful musicians.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It just always made me happy. I was
Hmm.
always happy, and you know, sometimes uh, it's almost like a spiritual experience for me sometimes, you know, and it's for sure meditation.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And,
That's cool. That's cool. It's a nice way to kind of get into your own feelings that way, and kind of show that, or like produce that
yeah,
through this medium, kind of thing.
Yeah. I just never really thought about it because I think I've been blessed really, and it just always made me happy. I could never want at one time, some years ago, I could never imagine life without playing live, and
Mm-hmm.
the thought of not playing gigs was terrible. But
Yeah.
things change. I slow down a little bit, and
Yeah.
who doesn't?
I I think that's kind of the one thing that's happened recently with that is the allowance that we allow ourselves to slow down a bit. Because I feel like, but like prior to the pandemic, there was like a whole lot of like, okay, the next thing I've got to do is this, and I got to write this song, and you know what I mean. There was a lot of I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep going and keep going, and I think yeah, just allowing ourselves to kind of slow down is a good kind of positive that's come out of this, you know.
I agree with you, David. I think that's a positive thing that's come out of it. Yeah, I know lots of people now that have had to, they've just slowed down and
Mm-hmm.
they think about their lives a little more, perhaps. And
Yeah,
although
yeah.
it's a lot of terrible things happening, of course, still, but you know,
I think that you know, we've all kind of gone through these steps of, you know, getting like understanding where we're at, and I think that
yeah,
that is
yeah.
going to keep on happening, because as things change, you have to re-understand where that place is, and um yeah, so it's interesting.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm positive, and
That's a good way to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
um
optimistic
yeah.
still.
um have has playing with like this experience of playing, you know, like touring with these, I mean, like, artists, and playing with all these different artists, like has that affected your own work and what you've produced as a solo artist, um
Um,
or
no, I I don't think so. I've always written songs really since I can pretty much, and I grew up in I came up in the '60s with all those great bands, and I suppose I'm still very old school, and that's it. That's my that's my training, So
yeah, yeah, I
I
guess.
sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's it. I'm just old school,
Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
think that's a, you know, it's there's a mode, and you know what I mean. I think that we all have comfort levels, and I think that we all have like things that we that kind of propel us, you know what I mean. I think that, you know, that the history that we live through is also a big part of that. So yeah, uh,
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't think about it very often, but sometimes I think, what humans have done to humans, and it's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
Mm.
It's even just like the process of what's happening in the world, you know, in general, I think really has like changed day to day. Like it's yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the planet is angry and you know sad, and
yeah,
but on the other hand, I think there's definitely a level of consciousness that's growing, about all this stuff.
yeah.
People are more aware, hopefully, and becoming more aware and
Oh yeah.
realizing,
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think even the ability to like, you know, when we were, you know, growing up, there was no way of um like getting ideas out right away. Like if you were going to read a story about something, it was a newspaper that, or you know, or a news, you know, source that you would
yeah,
find out this stuff about. But now
hmm
we're finding out on, you
yeah,
know, on our
right.
phones like right away. Like it happens, and literally like, you know, moments
Yeah.
later, someone else around across the world is going, oh, look what's
Hmm.
happening,
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
And it's I think that's another thing that's like really sped up the 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 knowledge and the like the awareness
Uh,
of everything. And as much as technology hurts it,
yeah.
with
Yeah.
how it is produced, I think it also has equally helped, things.
Oh,
um
absolutely. I agree. I agree.
but
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Mm.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are not many secrets anymore, are there? It's
Yeah.
people are becoming more and more aware about everything, and
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's wonderful. Yeah,
Can we talk about a bit about your process of creation?
my cross. Okay.
I as far as like when you get an idea, or when you're what like is there any things that you do to kind of to help that, or to, you know what I mean, to initiate that kind of thought process, or you know what I mean, like is there anything that kind of gets you into a mindful state or a creative state? Is it yeah, is there anything like I know you were talking about exercise and stuff like that earlier. Are like what kind of things get you into these kind of creative modes, I guess?
um, I don't know really. I mean, I do occasionally meditate, and I
Mm,
always try and stay as calm as possible,
yeah.
and it somehow it just comes, and when it comes. Uh, Sometimes a lot comes at the same time,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just a good, really, I think it's a really good idea. So I work on it for a
Hmm.
little while. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a process,
Yeah.
I get the song, I finish the song, lyrics and the thing.
Yeah.
If it's a song, and then I said about recording it.
Yeah. Do you ever like do you ever get discouraged or anything if something's not quite going, like if you start, like you write a bit of a song and then it just kind of sits there? Is there any like do you find that there's you know what I mean, something you're like, oh, I don't, or do you find that you just move on to the next idea, or
Yeah, I usually know immediately if it's or not, if it's not
yeah.
so good.
Right.
And I usually just tear it up and throw it away,
Yeah.
or I leave it and look at it the next day and I think, oh God, that's awful, Oh,
Yeah.
that could
Or
be
I could
something.
use it, that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
tiny
yeah.
bit of it, but yeah.
And sometimes I get, something, and I know that I think, oh, this is going to be all right, and
Hmm.
maybe a lot comes in one go, so I'll work on that, and
Nice.
but they usually when ideas come, it's usually over a period of weeks,
Hmm.
sometimes months, and I usually get a bunch of songs that are in the same kind of vein, if you like, then. So
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
how this happens, but I never question it. I'm always grateful, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
just harnessing it while it's coming, you know what I mean? That kind of
well,
idea.
yeah, I don't know where it comes from. It doesn't come from me, that's for sure.
It comes
it
beyond,
comes from
right?
some from the universe. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that that kind of that outwardly kind of thing, that those ideas are there, you know what I mean? And it's just about kind of allowing them to enter your headspace.
Yeah, yeah, they're all
Yeah.
out there. I'm just a recipient, I think, for
Yeah.
these particular ideas, and that's wonderful. I like it,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
that's
always been that way. I hope it
yeah.
continues.
I
Yeah.
and I super love like meditation and stuff like that. I think that stuff like that, even because I know like we're caught up in this grind of like go 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 go, and I think we were
Oh
talking
yeah.
about that earlier about
Oh
like,
yeah.
you mean you just kind of you get caught up in that. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
you know breathing techniques and stuff like that is super helpful. So
Absolutely. My breathing techniques are the first thing I do when I get out of bed in the morning.
yeah.
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 My
Yeah,
breathing
it's
exercises. very important
Nice,
before I
nice.
start my stretching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What does a day look like for you?
Oh, it's pretty much. Well, I like to go to the hairdresser once a week,
Yeah.
and no, no, okay. I promised myself I wouldn't tell any bad jokes, say anything
Yeah.
stupid, but it's ingrained to
That's
say
all
stupid
right.
things.
No,
I
it's the family traits, right? Yeah.
It is a family trait, you're right? Yeah. No, I get up in the morning. When I wake up, I never set the alarm, and
Hmm.
when I get up, I get up. It's usually in the morning now.
Yeah.
I do brush my teeth, get the kettle on for a coffee, do my breathing exercises, do my stretching, do my little
Hmm.
body fitness things, little weights and sit ups and stuff, and go jogging, have a
Hmm.
little breakfast maybe, come to my little studio that I've got now, a small little studio, which I love. Usually practice my bass for
Yeah.
an hour longer, or work on songs. Cook lunch. I cook
Yeah.
lunch. Yeah, I'm the cook.
Nice.
And other than that, I do as little as possible, really.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know myself I've gotten into a like a more vegetarian diet as well. I know that's I don't know if that's something that you've been doing
My
or
greatest respect, David.
yeah. It's I feel like the how we treat our bodies affects how we go through each day. So I think um yeah, I think the process of exercise and the process of breathing and taking time is huge. So
Well,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, I myself, I don't know whether I should speak about this, but I started being vegetarian in 1980, and I've been vegan now for the last 12 years,
Nice.
and it suits me,
Yeah,
and I feel good, and I'm healthy, and I like it.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
great.
it's I find it's really and it's funny because like getting into vegetarianism, a lot of people were like, "What? Well, how are you gonna do it?" It's like
Yeah,
this big like
yeah.
how, and it's like, well, it's actually quite easy, and there's a ton of stuff to eat, and even
Oh
so it's funny. It's funny how that
yeah,
process has
yeah.
just kind of made things.
I think we're just conditioned to, from the day we're born to think that all that stuff is normal.
Hmm.
Everything's normal and perfectly normal, and
Yeah.
but
Well, it's funny. One little thing I heard is that that animal or like humans are the
mhm.
only ones to continue drinking milk after being weaned
That's a good one. That's a good. I've never understood it.
off of their mother. Yeah, like every other animal, they when they have milk from their mother, but once that done, that's that's it. They're not drinking milk, and I find that that's another thing that's super interesting. That as a
Well,
culture we just
yeah.
keep going through that, and yeah, it's interesting,
I,
but
yeah, I won't get too deep into it because I get a bit,
yeah.
I
well
get a bit
we'll
enthusiastic.
we'll get into on the next episode, right?
Okay.
We'll do that,
All
we'll get
right.
into that.
Okay.
But I guess like what kind of things would you say you use to get into a mindful state? Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think probably the main thing for me is awareness of the moment,
Hmm.
just being presently in the present moment and now, because that's all life is, it's now.
Hmm. And
And I think just yeah.
yeah, and what are the kind of things that you might do to get into that mindfulness? Like as far as like does it come down to like, all right, I'm going to meditate now and that's the process,
Mm,
or is it beyond that? Like,
well, it's I meditate when I feel like it, and I never force myself to do anything like that. And
mm-hmm,
the best thing I find is not to think.
mm-hmm,
You know,
and not to
not the, you know how
overfocus
the
kind of, yeah.
yeah, I just think about anything and everything. And yeah, who needs that? Unless you really have to think about something. What
Yeah.
am I going to eat? What am I going to eat tomorrow? Oh God, I have to go and do this thing. To go to the hairdressers. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
The list, the
Terrible.
li- it's the list of stuff, right? I know, I myself, I've been, I write myself lists now, and I find that that's, something like it's good, but I also find that sometimes, I have to be okay with not finishing that list. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's,
All right.
um, so I think the ability to not overthink and not, um, yeah.
I just always come back to my breathing, and that's it. And yeah, it's like meditation, if you like, permanent meditation. I think, you know, um,
Hmm.
yeah, not that I'm, yeah, it just happened. It is how it is.
Right.
But it's good that you make lists. That's a great way to do things. And
It's just something I've been doing recently, and
yeah,
I find
yeah,
it is helpful because I'm a visual person as well, so it's
right.
just to be able to actually physically see what I need to do,
Okay,
instead of it
okay.
all being up here kind of thing.
Right. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I do as little as possible. I do the things I like to do when I want to do them. And it's a life of luxury, actually, really. What can I
Yeah.
say? What can I say, man?
Yeah.
That's how I live. And I live in a very, very beautiful part of the world here in Austria. Well, so do you in Toronto. Canada's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
and even just taking the moments to appreciate the surroundings kind of thing. I think that's another thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
going for walks and stuff like that. I imagine you do the same kind of thing.
I just look out the window. I sit, that's enough for me, right? And yeah, no, I talk to ants and things. It's a bit crazy, but yeah.
Oh, I love animals. I love it's especially when I'm watering the garden. There's always the butterfly that comes by, and there's always
Yeah,
the
yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But,
I just think everything's connected, and all these little creatures, part of everything.
totally,
Yeah,
totally, yeah.
mm-hmm.
But it's the butterfly effect, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of friends in the garden too. Little
Yeah.
butterflies and things. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the kind of leads to, I guess, my next question is, and it's kind of a doozy, but what would you say, what is mindfulness to you? Um,
Yeah, it's pretty much what I said earlier. I think mindfulness is being aware,
mhm,
being and yeah, being in the now, and being aware of what you do to yourself and to
mhm,
others and to all beings. Mindfulness is trying to, I think, be as compassionate as possible, as kind to everything and everyone as possible, and yeah,
yeah.
I
I
don't think
think
about these things so often, but yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
Good
I
that you.
think it's funny because mindfulness, you said like being aware, right? And
Yeah,
I think like even like some people take that as being aware of what's you're around you,
you,
which it is, but I think half of it is also like being aware of your emotions or being aware of your own,
absolutely.
yeah.
Feelings and needs and everything else and yeah, awareness for me is like like consciousness in a spiritual way,
Mm-hmm.
more than just seeing things and just like totally being aware of everything and of
Mm-hmm.
your own body and
Your own
uh,
reactions to things.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
find that's one thing I've done recently is like not reacting, taking a breath, and then reacting. You know what I mean? Whereas I find that's little, little things like that is the awareness.
That's great. That's
So,
great. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think everyone's different, right? Everyone has their own process, and
Everyone's different. Exactly.
but,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just my way. It's just my way of doing things. As you obviously now are finding your way, as I think you're a few months younger than me, David, right?
Just a little bit, yeah. No,
Or I'm a few months older than you,
yeah.
perhaps. Yeah.
Oh, these grays are giving it away, though, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. It's just one of my terrible jokes. I'm not old. I'm just a couple of months older than you are.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
it's all in a cycle, anyways, right? So
What does it matter?
right.
You
It
can't
is
stop it.
all
It comes to yeah.
it is all yet but a number, right? Like, yeah.
So it is. Yeah.
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 But yeah. I guess, is there anything else that you want to like add as far as anything that you want to tell the viewers on mindfulness or anything of that nature?
I don't know. I think everybody discovers it for themselves, really, sometime, or they don't discover it. I was lucky enough to go down certain streets in my life, change my life, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. Is there any big lessons that you taught your students back in the day, as far as that would be maybe relevant or still
Oh, absolutely. Always pay your teacher well.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. Sorry.
But it is.
No, I'm kidding.
It is. Yeah.
No, I just I don't preach to anybody, anymore. And I think people see how you are, and they realize that you're okay, and they can learn. Everybody can learn from someone else's attitude, if it's the right attitude, positive energy, and
I imagine even if it's a bad attitude, you can still learn from that. Like,
you can.
if you're, I guess, as you were saying, being aware, and if you're aware of your own motions and your own thing, and if you see a bad attitude, you can be like, well, all right, I'm not going to do that. I will, move on, or take a breath, or whatever. I think.
Right. Yeah. If I sense bad energy, and it does happen in life, because the hardest thing in life is to deal with other humans, isn't it? And I just kind of, it's always you will have no influence on this bad energy, so I just kind of leave it there, and walk away.
That's the best. Yeah. It's
I don't know what else to do.
Not getting sucked into it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Or not letting it affect you in a way, kind of thing. Yeah. But hopefully, fingers crossed. But also, I really thank you so much for joining me.
Wow.
And this has just been a super really awesome session, and I hope that people have gained a lot out of this, and I think they have. So and whatever, right? I'm gonna play the outro now.
Okay. Well, I thank you, David. It was a pleasure and an honor to speak with you.
Oh, it was amazing. But yeah.
Thank you. And God bless you.
Thank you for tuning in to Mindful Minutes with Musicians. For more information about my guest and the topics of the show, go to blackmoremedia.ca and connect with us on all social media platforms. Welcome to the MMWM family, where we aspire to inspire. See you soon. Amazing. Yeah, thank you again for joining me. This has been awesome. I really appreciate it. And thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for this great show, David.